Welcome back to They Did What? Your source of the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, I'm going to be covering part 14 to my absolute favorite video series ever did on this channel, which is titled, While Wife Thought Her Affair Was Going Unnoticed, Husband Was Playing the Long Game Preparing for War. And guys, as a brief recap, the last episode, episode 13, that was when the guy shared with everyone 3 different versions of a letter he was going to send to Emily, his ex, but very soon to be ex-wife. And the reason he was doing that is because in episode 12, he sat down and met with her and her new attorney, because the old attorney fired her, and that they tried to do a reconciliation, offered all these crazy terms about him getting back together with her or staying with her, and all these things he'd get out of it. And he's like, this is not going to happen. So at the advice of his attorney, she said, maybe it might be best you write her a letter making it as clear as can be. There's going to be no reconciliation. Even though this is unconventional, that you write her this letter. And that's why he went through different versions of the letter. And they were all, 2 of them were really funny. One was kind of, a little too sappy for me. And so this update here, he's going to talk about that. He's going to talk about what they said to her, what they're going to send to the lawyer, as well as addressing various questions, legal things, and stuff like that. So it's been about a week or so since the last update, so I thought y'all want to hear this. So he says here, this update was from May 2nd. He says here, well, I got my lawyer to look over the letter. And he says, she approved it. I handwrote it on paper and then had a courier delivered to Emily's parents' house yesterday with delivery confirmation. She got it and has been radio silent, except for the mother-in-law texting me that Emily got my letter and is crying her eyes out. Well, big freaking surprise. Okay, she got it. She's crying her eyes out, so we will see what happens next. Now on to his update from May 5th. He says here, we have sent out our divorce terms to Emily and her lawyer. They are pretty much the same thing as we had said before, and they are as follows. No spousal support. We keep our respective retirement funds. Other joint accounts are split 50-50. He says this one hurts. We have investment accounts, but my lawyer and I concluded this to expedite matters. Yeah, 50-50 on that. Ouch. It's an at-fault adultery divorce. $10,000 reimbursement of our emergency fund. Remember, during COVID, she raided the emergency fund, and I think without him knowing about it, to keep her business afloat. $15,000, half of the credit card charges for fraud, or whatever the lawyer said. I have to go back and reread this technical stuff. I give up all claims to half of her business. Even though it's an LLC, we consistently use marital funds and, of course, the stolen emergency fund, which was joint funds, to fund her business. Yeah, I'm sure that for her, that's a big deal. That this guy here, no claims to her business, which would make her much more probably willing to play ball. Once she realizes he ain't getting back. No business owner in a divorce wants to give not even one single share, not 1% of their business to a spouse, because then you got to fucking deal with them all the time. She gives all claims to my dad's home. There's some other stuff regarding joint marital property in our home. Throw pillows, people. Who's going to get the throw pillows? Well, someone think about the throw pillows. The trash can with my watery puke is off the table. She missed the opportunity. You snooze, you lose. So a bunch of people are saying that this is fake because a lawyer would never let you write a breakup letter to the person you're divorcing. Okay, here we go. First off, Emily has delayed all negotiations consistently by refusing to acknowledge divorce. She consistently rebutted our attempts to settle this by replying with some kind of reconciliation plan. Yeah, she is not giving up. She wants to reconcile. I want to point out that Emily is probably, I believe, close to being 30 years old, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, she knows it's not going to be as easy as it was once before. Plus, she doesn't want to lose her rock, I've had no meaningful conversation with Emily since I served her the divorce papers. I talk a lot of shit about her on here behind her back because it's a release valve for me. But I've said nothing of substance to her other than what I said when I confronted her and she was making a burnt offering to the fashion gods. Remember in part, 9, 10, 11, whatever it was, he had to go back to his old house because she was there trespassing, I believe, and burning all her purses and shoes and handbags on the grill. I mean, how dumb is that? Neighbors called because of the horrible fumes. Yeah, she was losing it. He says, I'm no lawyer. Maybe my lawyer sucks, but this is how it was explained to me. So this is about the legal part that a lot of people were questioning. After having a bunch of people tell me that a lawyer would never advise me to write a letter to my soon-to-be ex-wife, I was concerned myself, like why she would want me to break no contact. I basically summed up what my lawyer sent back with some edits to keep from me doxing myself. He says, in the state I live in, clear communication of intent, such as no reconciliation, can streamline negotiations by setting boundaries. A formal letter sent via courier serves as evidence of my position, reducing ambiguity in court or mediation. Divorce lawyers, at least in my state, often recommend written statements to clarify a client's stance, especially when the other spouse's actions, such as Emily's, workplace visits, constant text, offers of reconciliation, all the time, suggest denial or manipulation. The letter acts as a legal marker showing my consistent refusal to reconcile, which courts respect in fault-based cases. Okay. This also preempts Emily's attempts to further delay by offering reconciliation terms, forcing her to focus on settlement. And that's what you all want, to focus on the settlement and move on with your lives, and that's that. But of course, Emily wants to stall as long as possible, hoping, wishing on a star, that this guy will change his mind. Emily's adultery gives me leverage in equitable distribution. The letter reinforces her fault by detailing her betrayal and pressuring her to concede terms to avoid a public trial where her actions would be scrutinized. That is the last thing she or any other wife or girlfriend or woman, well, okay, not girlfriend, wife would want her actions and details getting out there. Also, Emily's lawyer is collaborating with her therapist to address emotional barriers to settlement and has been vocal about it with my lawyer. My lawyer saw the letter as a way to satisfy Emily's therapy-driven need for closure while advancing my legal goals. While not standard in every divorce, letters outlining non-reconciliation are used in cases with persistent reconciliation attempts or emotional volatility. Well, that's certainly the situation. You know, like burning all your shit in your backyard. Family law attorneys in the state I live in advise clients to document their stance to avoid he said, she said disputes in court. In other words, as they always say, always have things in writing. Lawyers tailor strategies to case dynamics, and a letter fits Emily's persistent reconciliation pushes. Non-lawyer types may assume divorce communication are purely formal, not realizing lawyers use creative tools such as letters and emails to manage negotiations, especially in fault-based cases with emotional stakes. The bottom line is that my lawyer thought it was a good idea and it would save us both lawyer fees in the long run if I made everything crystal clear. Well, you all recall, guys, in his versions of the letters he was going to send to her, it was quite clear, crystal clear. Otherwise, it's just legal pickleball with her serving reconciliation attempts over the net and me shouting, fuck no, and grand slamming them out of the court into orbit. Over and over again, lawyers' fees racking up and up. Yeah, the longer this drags out, the more the lawyer's making money. But obviously, Emily doesn't give a shit. Now, so that's where things left off. Now, I'm going to also read one more thing. He gets lots of comments, as you can imagine. He responds to comments. And this last comment he had is respond to a guy that was just calling all this stuff bullshit again, reiterating the lawyer thing. He says, in response to that guy, this was an initial consultation with Emily's new attorney, not formal negotiations. My lawyer explicitly called it a preliminary negotiation. And yes, sometimes attorneys do meet face-to-face, especially when one party, Emily, specifically requested. And yes, family members sometimes attend if both parties agree. Emily wanted emotional support. I wasn't going to deny her that. Remember in that one meeting, her mom was there? This was optional meeting and not formal meeting. Emily's side specifically asked to bring the mother-in-law along as emotional support. And my lawyer okayed it because it wasn't a formal deposition or hearing, just an informal attempt to hash things out. Different attorneys have different styles. Mine is a 30-plus year veteran who's known for being unconventional. When people recommend her, they literally say she's not like other divorce attorneys. She prefers face-to-face when possible because she says she can read people better. Hey, well, listen to your lawyer. And if he got good references for her, and she knows her shit, and she's been doing this 30 fucking years, and she's good at reading people, and that helps the situation, okay, so be it. I thought I made it clear about the letter in my last update. My attorney said that if I want to expedite things, I should abandon my no-contact policy and handwrite Emily a letter explaining in detail where reconciliation is off the table. I think you all remember that part. That was the end of part 11, I think. Maybe part 12. when the lawyer and her were spitting up all these things for reconciliation and he didn't want to reconcile. Her reasoning was that Emily's clinging to hope is dragging out negotiations, and a clear final no from me would help move things forward. Well, she got the letter and she's bawling her eyes out, according to your soon-to-be ex-mother-in-law. Regional practices vary widely. Family law in my state isn't the same as family law wherever you practice. Plus, this is not a no-fault community property divorce. But hey, if believing this is fiction helps you sleep at night, go for it. I wish it were fiction. I'd much rather be writing a creative writing exercise than living in Airbnb and having my life detonated. So there you go. A bunch of legal crap and stuff like that. A lot of people wondering about. I wanted to just give a weekly update to what that guy's doing. But pretty soon there'll be another meeting and all that. And probably, who knows, maybe Emily will be burning something else on somebody else's property. I don't know. But I'm sure another update is coming. But anyhow, there you go. And I from the moment I first started covering this story here, whenever the hell that began, I did not think it was fake. I think it was just a guy that has a fantastic sense of humor, and he's using this as an outlet to help him cope. And obviously, the overwhelming majority of people out there are enjoying his story, but in a manner that care about him and hope him all the best. You know, that's helped him get through it. And I do these stories because, yeah, they're entertaining, but also it's to help guys out there. My main channel, Strong Successful Male, which you should all join if you haven't yet, primarily does that with personal stories. So I don't think this story is fake. I think, again, like guy, he's obviously decent. He's good at writing. College-educated guy. He's good at writing, and he's really freaking funny, so it makes it entertaining. That's it. But I wasn't kidding when I do say this will go on to episode 26 one day, probably in July at that point. But hey, it's a never-ending story. It's a gift that keeps on giving. But we're helping him. He's helping us. We're all learning from this, so be it. So anyhow, guys, there you go. Brief update. So I'm sure there'll probably be another one the next week or so, because there's always something going on with his soon-to-be crazy ex. And when it updates, let me know, guys, because I cover a lot of stuff. So when you guys let me know, I can jump on these things and do updates. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And guys, you find a good story to share other than this one, please send it my way, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. And if it's a really good one for the channel, I'll definitely cover it. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.